All right, let's do a weekly log here. So pretty interesting weekly candle, right? Very expensive, all right? After we've had a very large couple of downside couple of weeks, and we took out the previous week low and then ended up closing well above the previous week high. So I think that we're likely to have some short-term reversal, right, of this very large, I guess just downfall, or took out all this liquidity here. And now that we've taken out both this previous candle's low and high, that is a reversal sign. We also were stuck inside of this weekly candle, right? We had an inside week candle, and then this candle now expanded far away from it. So I now expect us to have very expansive markets going into the next couple of weeks. And if I had to guess where we're going to go, I think we're going to come back up here, at least take out this candle's high. That'll be my next draw on liquidity here. And then also this one is here as well. I think that's where we're likely to go. Also, there is I think that'll also depend though if we can sustain this move. If we can on ES here close above this weekly semi, that would be something that we could be interesting to see. I want to see us close above that. Um, yeah. So, and then on the daily, let's just go here real quick. So you can see on NQ that starting out the week, we took out this the previous week's candles low, which was I think here, yeah, previous week candles low. We took that out. Plus, we were inside this daily candles range for Owl last week. We ended up taking that out on Monday and then creating a daily bullish order block. Large gap going into Wednesday. Came back into that void, but just institutional order flow entry drill into it, and then closed algorithmically much higher and closing above this candle's high. So what is this price action telling you? That this candle here next to it on Friday is likely to be a continuation of that move, right? Because we closed well above this high over here. We barely just came to this liquidity void, and it's like, and the algorithm is telling you that, hey, I'm bullish, right? So I think expecting us to draw back into TGIF may not have been the smartest thing for me to do on Friday, which was a mistake I made, and probably the reasons why I lost on Friday. I had a down day. On the 4 hour here, you can see that move, right, as we come back into this previous day low, taking it out. And then we draw back into this week's new week opening gap and then fill it completely. We're rejecting from that a little bit going into the AM session, but in the PM, we continue that move, then gapped up going into Tuesday here, and then continue that series higher until about the AM session where we reverse some of that move, coming back into this coming into this new day opening gap, but barely just coming into that here at London session of Thursday, and then expanding massively into pre-market, continuing that move in AM right after a very large expansion, and coming back to this old week opening gap, closing over it, and taking out this this series of highs over here, relative equal highs, and then taking out the next series of high here in the PM session as well. Then consolidating pretty much overnight until we got to pre-market of Friday, coming back into the top 4 hour rally gap here and continuing that bullish move, right? So we are in a very large market maker buy model. So on the 1 hour, you can see we're trickling lower, taking out the previous day low and taking the previous week low, right? Then we break more structure above this candle's high, continue, right? So it's telling me that we're likely to enter in a market maker buy model, especially now that we've taken out our liquidity target for the week, on the lows. Continuing that move, and you can see every single time we're coming into an inefficiency, we continue to bring market structure higher. And you have this large gap, right, going into Tuesday, barely touch it, and then we just continue going higher. We do reverse that move going into 10 a.m., right, and run lower and come back into this new day opening gap, and coming into these relative equal lows. I did catch a short around here, but then I pulled out a little early, so that was on me. But price ended up running lower. That would have been a nice trade. Also, trading the 1 hour here, I think this would have been a nice trade as well. Coming back into this inefficiency, right? Stop losses above this candle's high, and coming at least back down to this candle's low right here, right? And I probably would have held runners to see if we can fill in this whole range. But price came back and rejected above this candle's high, breaking market structure again, going into pre-market at 7 a.m. and then price create a bullish order block here, right? Running higher and continuing that move, right? And then we overlap this 1 hour SIBI here, creating an inversion at 9 a.m. Continuing that move, closing well above here, and then just basically running higher all the way until Asian. And then we consolidated. And then going into the pre-market session, we ran lower against that range, retracing some of this large move, not even coming back to equilibrium though. We had some S&T at these lows and end up inverting this 1 hour SIBI to take out these relative equal highs. Spiked above that, but then continued that move going into 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. We ran high with the high of the day. So this has been the weekly log. It's helped you with daily bias. Hopefully this is helpful, and catch you guys in the next video.